Newborn baby Millie's edit. So I created the user preset in the previous screen recording and applied it to all of my images. Now I'm just going to quickly run through each and every image and do some tweaking. Right. So this one was a bit more overexposed, so I'm just going to bring these blacks in here. I'm happy with that. Bring the blacks and up the exposure just a bit more. Just going to warm up her face just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to bring down the highlights just a touch on this one. Okay. Next one, highlight some blacks. Highlight some blacks. Just increase the exposure and the blacks on that one. Increase the vibrance by a bit more, plus 40. Exposure, blacks, and vibrance. Exposure again, blacks and vibrance. Only vibrance on this one. Bring down the highlights just a bit. Look at those shadows. Yeah, bring the shadows down a touch, and then the vibrance up. Increase the exposure. Bring the highlights down to. No, I'll leave those as they are. Okay, nearly there. Up the exposure. Bring down those shadows, and that's fine. Exposure, shadows, and just going to bring this down, just cool the image down just a bit. That's fine. Bring those highlights down because obviously it's a light coloured wrap, so I needed to amend that there. Those blacks down, up the exposure, bring the highlights down. Increase the vibrancy on this one. And the highlights down a bit. Exposure up, highlights down. Okay. And that one's fine. Then the final part of this edit will be the cropping. Increase the vibrance there on that one. Okay, so I'll just whiz through now and do some cropping. Oops. I'm going to try the healing tool on my foot. Done. This I will need to do in Photoshop. I want to show a bit more wood on this one. Healing tool. This one, her face is a little bit more purpley, so I'm just going to pop down here and look at this, see if we can improve that, and then up the saturation a bit on it. There you go. Let's try the healing tool. It's okay. Right, done. So on this I will just rotate that round, make baby a bit more central. Let's go back. Straighten up the bed, focus more in on baby. Just going to swing it around just a little bit. And then the last image, I am going to rotate that round. So photo, rotate to the left, and then just crop in a bit more like this. Okay, right, that's all of the images edited in Lightroom. Probably took me 15 minutes to do all of those, and now I'm going to export them out. So I'm going to make sure I'm in the library section, Command A to select them all, click on export, choose my folder, which is here. I've created another subfolder which is called best. I'm going to choose that, Then the file naming, I keep the file name exactly as it is. I just add a little underscore. So go to edit and then underscore, and that's done. Then scroll down, make sure this is quality at 100%. Color space sRGB. I'm exporting out as a JPEG. Making sure that all of my images are 300 resolution pixels per inch, and I export out at 14 inches on the longest side. Then I scroll down, I don't do any sharpening, I don't add watermarks here, and then I export them out. Overwrite. So that was part 2, and part 3 will be my edit in Photoshop. Thank you for watching.